Well, folks, welcome to another Friday fishing forecast, and you're probably wondering why I'm sitting out by my pool on my lounge chair. Well, I've been fighting an illness for the last few days, and I thought I'd stay home and relax and just take in some sun and get the proper vitamins from the sun and take the proper things to feel better. I don't feel horrible. I just have some body aches and a slight fever, but other than that, I'm good. So anyway, as you saw, last weekend was pretty brutal, but some people did go out and they had a pretty good success with sheep's head and some other fish like that. But this weekend is Saturday, looks like it's going to be bumpy, a little bit chillier than it has been the last couple of days, and then Sunday looks like it's going to be a little bit warmer, but the winds are going to lay down, but they're calling for like 45% chance of rain in the morning, and then it's supposed to just be cloudy for the rest of the day. So if you're going to go out, I would probably recommend going out maybe on Sunday. But if you have to get out on Saturday, I think it's a good day too. It's just going to be a little bit bumpier. But the nice thing is that we'll be having some fronts come in, or a front come in. So I think the fish are going to feed pretty good. I went out earlier this week, as you saw. We went out and targeted some redfish in the mangrove trees and talked about what we look for when we're fishing mangroves. And hopefully that was a video that you guys learned something from. I know when we were on the boat with Captain William Wise, we were both bouncing things off of each other, and there were some things that they learned, and there were some things that I learned. So you're always, if you're not out learning when you're fishing, then there's something seriously wrong. So anyway, with that being said, oh, by the way, we were using a new type of slacker jig, and I'm going to come up with a name. It might just be the inshore slacker, but it's a smaller hook. As you see in this picture here, you have a 4/0 hook and a 1/0 hook. And matter of fact, Captain William Wise took that jig, I made a few for him, took that jig with the smaller hook and went out and targeted sheep's head and did very well on the sheep's head. So we're going to introduce, and I used that particular jig when we were fishing for the redfish. So it definitely works. It has a little bit smaller hook. I've had requests of using a smaller hook, so we went ahead and tried it. I like to try things before I put them out there for sale. So the 1/0 octopus hook worked very, very well, and we are going to have them on the website for sale. And we're not going to paint them. We're just going to leave them lead color, so they're going to be a little bit less expensive, but they're going to have that smaller hook, and they work really good for the inshore species like snook, redfish, trout, and then of course sheep's head. So be on the lookout for that. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and get into the Friday fishing forecast and talk about what we have in store for this weekend. Now on Saturday we have a low tide at 10:03 a.m. at a negative 0.12. Then we have a high tide at 4:26 p.m. at a 1.27 foot. Then on Sunday we have a low tide at 10:27 a.m. at a 0.14 foot, and then a high tide at 4:56 p.m. at a 1.39 foot. So you can see it's pretty good moving tides for this weekend. So if you're targeting the inshore species, you should have really good tidal movement. And where the water temperature is now, I would start looking in back bay areas. I would look at residential canals, rivers, places like that, because these fish have really made a push up into the rivers, into the backcountry, into the residential canals, because they're just trying to stay warm. When we were out, I think the water temperature was like 62 degrees, so it was pretty low. So these fish are a little bit lethargic, but they might be putting on the feed bag now that it's warmed up a little bit. I know that water temperatures come up, so I definitely would pay attention to that, but I would look in the back bay areas, residential canals, places like that for these fish. Now let's go ahead and talk about the salooners for this weekend and what we have in store for that. On Saturday we have a minor feeding time from 9:47 a.m. to 10:47 a.m. and we have a major feeding time from 3:33 p.m. to 5:33 p.m. Then on Sunday we have a minor feeding time from 10:18 a.m. to 11:18 a.m. and then we have a major feeding time from 4:16 p.m. to 6:16 p.m. So those are the salooner times, and it was funny because I had somebody message me through YouTube the other day, and he says, I never really believed in the salooners. I thought it was witchcraft, and I really didn't follow them. And he says, I finally started to follow them, and he says they were dead on. Now again, they're not always 100% accurate, but 90% of the time I can say that the fish are going to feed the best during those major and minor feeding times. So really start paying attention to that. If you've not paid attention to before, I would really recommend starting to pay attention to them now. And also, I sent out an email to all our subscribers on our webpage, but we do have all of our nets in stock again. So we've got plenty of nets in stock from 8 1/4, 10 1/4, 1.3, 10 1/4, 1.5, and then 10 3/8, 1.5. So if you're looking for a cast net, the Talon cast net is a great cast net. All the guys that have been buying them from me have been extremely pleased with the cast nets. Even the guides they're talking about how well they throw. So if you are in the marketplace for a cast net, definitely look up Talon cast nets. And I just want to say again, thank you for all of the support. We really, really appreciate it. It just keeps growing and growing and growing, and we can't say enough. Let me hit on that real quick. Thank you to everybody that sent us pictures. I want to go ahead and get into some of the top catches for people that sent us some pictures. And I'm going to start doing this on every Friday Fishing Forecast. I'm going to start featuring people with their catches. You don't have to catch it with our stuff. Just as long as if you watch the channel and you want to send us some pictures, please do that. So let's go ahead and get into the top catches and show people what we're talking about. All right, in these top catches, we see Ernie Allman's daughter with a nice hogfish that was caught down in Isla Mirada on our Stewie jig. In this picture, we see Jonathan Kumar with a nice sheep's head and his wife with a nice hogfish. And we have Christy Waters with a nice hogfish and a red grouper. Well, folks, those are the top catches for this week. We appreciate you sending those in, and anybody else, please send in pictures so we can put you on the top catches of the week. Again, thank you so much for the support. We can't thank you enough. It's been awesome. You guys have been awesome. It's been such a whirlwind situation. With this whole thing has just gotten so big, and it just continues to grow, and we can't thank you enough. We've got some really big things on the horizon. We're working on some different deals right now. So, again, I just can't thank you enough. And if you get out this weekend, be careful, fish more, catch more, and we'll see you on the flip side.